So again, for anyone who has just popped into the room, my name is Catherine Mabry, and I'm the coordinator in the Office of Postdoctoral Affairs and Research Training. And we are very excited to welcome you to Prepping for Grad School, our welcome in the School of Graduate Studies, for all of you who are starting in May. So this is a very exciting time. We know you've got a lot of questions, and with that, if you have technical difficulties with the Zoom, pop them in the chat. For everything else, please use the Q&A. That's where all of the questions are going to be answered by our team of experts. And when you have questions at any time during the session, please put them in there, and we will have people answering them. With that, I think we're going to close out the poll just so that we can get started. We're a few minutes behind schedule because we had some technical difficulties this morning. It happens and it's okay. You just roll with the punches. So I'm going to stop that. Okay, and let's get started. So to begin, I'd like to start with our land acknowledgement. And you may or may not be familiar with land acknowledgements if you're coming from outside of Canada. This is something that we do at the beginning of meetings or events, or anytime we gather, to acknowledge the land on which we find ourselves and the people who have been here before us, in our role as settlers. So in this case, our land acknowledgement from McMaster University is that we recognize and acknowledge that it is located on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations and within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. We encourage you to learn more about the lands on which you find yourself today. All right, an overview for today's session. We are going to walk you through all different areas of the School of Graduate Studies that you will be coming in contact with us, and how you can interact and what you need from us and who to reach out to. We will provide you with information on resources and services for graduate students, resources and services for international students traveling to McMaster, and of course, the infamous Q&A that I've been talking about. All right, so opening up with the School of Graduate Studies. We are the central administration and resource for all faculties assisting with admissions through graduation, PhD defenses. We have rules and regulations, forms and policies. We also handle other things, including scholarships and awards, grad pay inquiries. We have the grad student resources team. That's my team. Hi, team. And the Office of Postdoctoral Affairs. That's just me. But we have a lot of things happening in the School of Graduate Studies, and we encourage you to interact with us so that we can help you to figure out what you need to succeed as you go forward as a graduate student. All right, so beginning, enrollment opens at 9 a.m. on March 26th. That is tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. You want to register in your academic courses or placeholder courses as is appropriate for whatever program that you're in. You want to enroll in SGS 101 and SGS 201. So those online courses will become available on April the 1st. Okay. And they must be completed by May 31st. So they won't open tomorrow. They will open for April the 1st, and they will be completed by May 31st. Your programs might have different requirements, so you always want to check with your programs. If you can't enroll and you're not sure why, always ask your program. They're going to be your first line of response. And we have a bunch of different links, and my colleagues are posting those into the chat for you, and you will get a copy. And yes, this is being recorded for good or for bad, and that's okay too. So you will be able to get all the information that you need. In terms of receiving pay and funding, you might receive your pay in two different ways. So, as employment, if you are, say, a teaching assistant, and then it would be directly deposited into your Canadian bank account after you enroll in direct deposit using HR's employee self-service portal. Really easy. The other way is if you're getting scholarship or award payments, including research scholarship payments. Those will be sent to your McMaster email via Interac e-transfer. To receive your grad support payments at the first pay date in May, you must have completely enrolled by 8 p.m. on May the 1st. So make sure that you are not delaying, no procrastination here. Get it in early, get it done, and then you don't have to worry about it. And we do have folks available to assist. If you have questions about getting paid, you can reach out to Grad Pay. If you have questions about scholarships or award, our awesome scholarships team, so SGS Schol, they will be able to help you with that as well. If you are going to be working in Canada for the first time, you need to make sure that you have a social insurance number and a Canadian bank account. There are different places. We'll get you some information on that. I believe in the next slide, I'll talk about that. And additional requirements for international students will be conditions of your work allowance that are printed on your study permit. If you're participating in co-op, you will need a co-op work permit. And for all those types of questions, we have someone to assist you with immigration advising. And again, you will get the link. Scott is in the ether behind the scenes, available to answer your questions. And you can always reach out at immigration@mcmaster.ca, and you'll be able to reach folks who know exactly what they're talking about when it comes to immigration issues. So, as promised, if you need to get a social insurance number, there is no fee to apply. You can get it potentially at Toronto Pearson International Airport. They have limited hours for this. You can apply online at a Service Canada location in person or by mail, but mail is not recommended. All right, in terms of student resources, the student resources team at the School of Graduate Studies organizes events, ensures helpful resources for all graduate students and postdoctoral fellows, but today is all about the grad students. We have two places that you'll really want to look on our website. So Graduate Community Resources, that tells you about the programs and offerings that we have on a regular basis. And then news and events for graduate students. And that will list off all of our current information. You will also, at some point in the very, very near future, start receiving emails from the School of Graduate Studies that come on a regular basis, so pretty much weekly. And those list off events that are happening through SGS and also our campus partners. And these are things that are going to be incredibly relevant and helpful for you. So there's, yes, some social events, but there's also a lot of incredibly helpful things that will help you to succeed in your programs, in your research, and prepare for going forward. So you want to make sure that you are reading that email. Incredibly important. Getting ready for life at McMaster, you want to make sure that you are using our orientation hub for important information and updates from the School of Graduate Studies. Please keep up to date with the emails and check out the orientation hub that has everything that you need to get started. And that link has been shared. So reminders, things that you'll need to do in order to move forward and get ready for being here at McMaster in your program. You want to activate your Mac ID, and that's a fairly straightforward process. You also want to go to Mac Card to learn about the process of getting your student card. Update your personal information on Mosaic and clear the conditions of your admission. So make sure that you are taking care of all of those things. Key dates for you to remember is March 26th to April 9th for on-time enrollment, April 10th to 24th for late enrollment. Try not to be late. May 25th for tuition and fees deadline, and May 31st is the SGS 101 and 201 completion deadline, as mentioned earlier. All right, in terms of contacting grad studies, you want to chat with us on gs.mcmaster.ca. This is a live chat with a staff member Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. till noon Eastern Time. And the chat bot is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you wake up in the middle of the night with a burning question, you can always try the chat bot and see if it has the information that you need to put your mind at ease. In terms of emails, you have admissions, that's the grad ADM for technical issues about your admissions. Records, SGS Rec for technical questions in enrollment, your academic records, petitions. The records team does a great job with all of those things, and they are also behind the scenes today, as is admissions and grad pay and scholarships. Everyone's here. So grad pay, as I mentioned earlier, if you have questions about getting your funding, and scholarships, if you have questions about scholarship opportunities. If you have other questions about conditions clearing, program structure, enrollment requirements, TA assignments, all those kinds of things, you want to reach out to your program because they're the ones who are going to have those details that can change from program to program, faculty to faculty. So please do check with your specific program. Okay, resources and services for graduate students. And here I am going to hand it over to my awesome colleague, Justin from Housing. Justin, are you there?
Hi there. Can you hear me?
We can. It's all yours, Justin.
Okay, great. I'll keep this very brief because I know we're on a time crunch. But basically, I'm here to talk about 10 Bay Residence, which is McMaster's official downtown residence located right in the heart of Hamilton. So it's a really cool space. It's built with upper year students in mind. So the amenities are very premium. It feels like a condo you'd live in the general life as opposed to a residence building you'd find on campus. So lots of thought and details put into that space. It's also located right in the heart of downtown, so you're close to grocery stores, restaurants, lots of events going on. So you're sort of in the hub of Hamilton, as well as being connected to McMaster in that official type of environment. There's professional staff who live in the building, so they're able to help with your transition, especially if you're coming from a different country area. We're able to put on events and just get you really situated with Hamilton life. A really cool feature with this building as well is every suite comes furnished and is including with utilities as well as high-speed Wi-Fi. So that's all included in your rent. Right now, if you go to 10bayliving.ca, you can sign up for a webinar or an open house. So we have a webinar happening tomorrow and then an open house happening on Friday. So basically, it's a really good chance to see the space, take a tour, ask questions, and see what it's all about. And if you can't make the in-person one, then the webinar is again a digital space to just come see the space, ask questions, and get a bearing of what that feels like. So that's sort of 10 Bay. We really encourage you to take a look at it. Again, it's a really great way to be connected to McMaster in a living space with that environment sort of being all around you. So if you have any questions, I will be in the Q&A answering on the fly.
Great. Thank you so much, Justin. And I'm looking forward to seeing 10 Bay when I'm there tomorrow with a colleague from the Student Success Center. All right. Let's see what else we have. Supervisor relationship resources. This is incredibly important for everyone because, well, you'll have supervisors. So you want to make sure that you are getting things off to a good start, and we have a template to help you. The template is meant to be completed by you and your supervisor at the beginning of your program, and it can and should be revisited over time just to make sure that everything is still exactly the way that you anticipated it might be at the beginning, or make any adjustments that you need to make as you go forward. Guidelines for student supervisors, programs, and committees are also included. You have a summary of expectations and roles, quick reference if you're not sure about something, and it supports self-efficacy, awareness, and effective communication. So definitely take a look at that resource and put that into your early activities. Grad calendar and PhD supervision policy are also available, and there are Supervision resources available on our graduate studies website. So please do make sure that you are taking advantage of these tools. Additionally, so if it turns out that your expectations are not being met as you go forward, um, if the student or supervisor are not holding up their end of the agreement, you can raise your concerns and have a discussion. So you would start with your supervisor and then move on to the grad chair or department advisor, director, and move that up to the associate dean if you're still not getting answers. If you have concerns about mistreatment, harassment, or discrimination, you can reach out to the Equity and Inclusion Office, Ombuds, or QP if it is in the case of TA or employment concerns. Additional supports are available through Student Wellness Center, Grad Student Association, trusted peer, mentor, or staff member. So please remember that you are never alone, regardless of what you're going through. There's always somebody who's available to help you. So please do reach out if you have questions or concerns at any time in your graduate student journey. Equity, diversity, and inclusion. The Equity and Inclusion Office promotes and supports institution-wide commitments to equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility. You can reach out to them or learn more about human rights and dispute resolution, inclusion and anti-racism education, accessibility program, and the sexual violence prevention and response. Please visit the Equity and Inclusion Office website for more information and details. For disability and accommodations, so student accessibility services, they are who you would reach out to if you have a disability and would like to set up academic accommodations. So as a student, academic accommodations would be set up through SAS before your classes or academic work begins. And this applies to students who had accommodations during prior degrees at McMaster. So if you've done your undergraduate here and you had academic accommodations, you will have to do that again. If you need workplace accommodations that are related to employment conditions, so for TA or other campus employment, that gets requested through HR. So some of you who need accommodations may actually have to do it twice in two different places, but that's because they're handled for the student and the employment in different spaces. And we have some additional resources for you to assist there. For health and wellness, the Student Wellness Center addresses physical and mental wellness needs, provides counseling options, medical services, and wellness programs. There's also a grad wellness newsletter that's made by graduate students for graduate students. And there are regular drop-ins and additional services that are available for graduate students. So please do go ahead and get involved and make use of those resources. Open Circle at McMaster is a diverse and consensus-based community where McMaster students can discuss life, spiritual, and societal issues, as well as find volunteering opportunities available in the broader Hamilton community. So please visit opencircle.mcmaster.ca, and they can give you information about their programs. For writing support, something that all of our graduate students are going to need at some point in time because, well, let's face it, you'll have to write something. We have graduate writing resources available. So Introduction to Graduate Level Writing online module. There is a thesis writer's toolkit. Please visit the graduate writing section on the Grad Studies website. In addition, there is Writing Center support available through the Student Success Center, which includes workshops and writing intensives, writing productivity and development skills, one-on-one appointments. So please make sure that you are, including this in your planning, that you don't have to go it alone. You've got assistance for whatever stage you're at and whatever need you have. Career and professional development. So, graduate career counseling and job search coaching, which includes one-on-one appointments, programs, and workshops, job fairs, and recruitment events. There are lots of those. Career and professional development resources are also available online. Please visit careers on the Student Success Center website. So, regardless of what faculty you're in or what program you're in, you will have access to support through the Student Success Center as a graduate student. So please do make use of that from the beginning through to the end. Do not wait, do it early. For teaching and learning, everyone, I want to say that everyone is eligible to learn about teaching and learning, regardless of whether you happen to be teaching at this point in time. So you can go ahead and get training. I'm going to walk through that. There is an organization on campus called the McPherson Institute for Teaching and Learning, and they provide all of the professional development and support for teaching. So there's classroom instructional skills. There's a certificate in professional development for teaching that is available to everyone. You don't have to be teaching in order to take advantage of that. So if you aren't teaching, but you would like to, try getting involved in that professional development certificate program. There's TA training, workshops, weekly McPherson memo, which is incredibly informative, and I encourage you to register for that. Please visit the McPherson website for teaching and learning resources and to learn more. CUPE 3906 is the labor union for teaching assistants and research assistants that are protected under the collective agreement. There's also information on your health plan and advocacy if you visit the CUPE 3906 website. Libraries and research. So graduate studies and faculty-specific librarians. Librarians are your friends, and I can honestly say that making use of my graduate librarian when I did my PhD was one of the smartest things that I could have done because I think like a researcher from my discipline. I don't think like a librarian, and that means that I can't anticipate how resources that I wanted were cataloged. Turned out I just needed a little bit of a point in the right direction, and I was able to uncover all of the information that I was hoping to. So make use of the resources that you have available. There are research consultations. You can book a one-on-one consultation with the graduate librarian to discuss your projects and programs and your thesis or dissertation. Incredibly helpful. There's also assistance in workshops with citation management. There's a grad and postdoc study room, and we'll include information on how to access that. And I believe that information comes through in our mailer, and we'll circulate that again. There's also specialized research and innovation centers. So the Sherman Center for Digital Scholarship. You don't know how to use statistical software or anything like that, or Python, they have beginners workshops. You don't have to have any experience. You can join, you can learn, you can develop these skills regardless of whether they're required for your program. There's the Data Analysis Support Hub and the Lions Center for New Media. There's also Assistance Library Remote Support Hub, and you can go ahead and reach out there for more information. So please do make use of the library. There's a lot more than just books and journals. We also have financial support at McMaster through Max Money Center, one-on-one meetings with an accredited money coach. There's information sessions and workshops, support for filing tax. You can visit Max Money Center online. There's also emergency financial support for financial emergencies and negative circumstances outside of your control. Please visit the link for the School of Graduate Studies funding opportunities. Okay. Specialized offices and communities. So we have the Black Student Success Center, Indigenous Student Services, International and Exchange Student Experience, Latin American Network at McMaster University, known as LANMU, Spiritual Care and Learning Center, Ask your program administrator or fellow students in your area of study for information about area-specific groups or societies that may be available if you're looking for something more than what we have already shared here. And then, of course, there is the Graduate Students Association, the GSA. Your GSA provides a lot of different benefits and events and all kinds of things. So there is health and dental insurance, bus pass, softball and soccer leagues, GSA awards, the student clubs, scholarships, bursaries, emergency funds. And then there's, of course, the Phoenix Bar and Restaurants. Please visit the GSA website. And if you're looking for leadership opportunities, think about getting involved. It's a great experience and a great way for you to demonstrate some of those leadership skills that you might be developing. Graduate community resources. All of the resources shared today and more are available on the Graduate Community Resources section on the School of Graduate Studies website. And with that, I am more than happy to stop speaking and pass this over to my amazing colleagues who deal with our international students. So, Anna,
Hello, thanks, Catherine.
perfect. You're very welcome.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Anna Pereira, and I am the team lead for the International and Exchange Student Experience team at McMaster University. Next slide. Perfect. So there's our team. There are more people that belong to our team, but this will be the majority of the staff members that you will most likely deal with on a daily basis. Our immigration team consists of Scott, Carissa. Legipe is our immigration consultant. She's available strictly online, and she talks more about PR and what happens kind of after graduation when it comes to immigration. But our other advisors are on campus, and they'll be able to help you throughout your student journey and different things like extending your study permit, working off and on campus, co-op work permits, etc. So immigration is dealt with in-house for us. Also, we look over the UHIP plan, which is the University Health Insurance Plan. Also plan lots of activities, events, workshops, webinars with our great partners in grad studies as an example, and also supporting incoming exchange students. If our main contact is iesc@mcmaster.ca, we also offer drop-ins. So when you're on campus on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1:30 to 4, we are located in the basement of the Student Center. I know that means nothing to you right now, but you will find us next to chat time. And you can just come in at those times and you'll be able to speak to one of our staff members without an appointment. If you prefer appointments, not a problem. They're up on Oscar Plus, and you can book appointments with us directly as well. As mentioned, we look over the UHIP plan, which is the University Health Insurance Plan. So this plan is a mandatory plan for all undergraduates, graduates, exchange, and visiting students and researchers at McMaster University and their dependents. So when we say dependents, it's not mom, dad, brother, sister. It's more like your spouse, common law partner, children, same-sex partner, more your kind of unit, your family unit. It is mandatory to add your dependents to the UHIP plan within 30 days of their arrival. If you miss this deadline, it is still mandatory to add them, but there will be a $500 late fee added for the addition and also what retroactive premiums. So this basically means if you're arriving in May and your dependents are arriving in June, I can add them to the plan once they're physically in Ontario. Please add them once they or connect with me once they arrive. Don't wait till July or August because you will be charged a late fee and then their premiums will start from the day that they arrived. So note to self, if your dependents are coming, please connect with us right away so we can add them. We can't add them in the future just because as you're pretty aware, flight delays, cancellations, life changes, stuff happens. So we can only add them once they're physically here in Ontario. The cost right now is $66 per month per person. When you go check your student account, you will most likely see a charge for 12 months. That's because the 12-month is the mandatory plan. Because you're arriving in May, I advise you to please email uhip@mcmaster.ca. It's me who answers those emails. Just let me know that you're starting in May. Let me know your student number, and then I will manually adjust your coverage to go from May to August. So the plan runs from September to August, but because you're only arriving in May, we will change that for you from May to August. And then next September, when you get enrolled again, then you'll see the full 12 months from September to August. So please make sure you do reach out to us so that we can get that changed for you. If you are starting in May, which I keep saying if you, but you are starting in May, you'll actually be covered under UHIP from the 10th day of the month before. So that means as of April 10th or later, depending on when you arrive, you will have emergency-based coverage. You will not have a UHIP card, and emergency-based coverage means something that's not planned. So you fall, you trip, you have to go to the emergency or you have to go see a doctor. That's unplanned. That's considered an emergency. You can't pick up the phone and book an appointment to go see a doctor during this time because it's only for emergencies. As of May 1st, you have full access to the plan. You can do whatever you would like under the plan. Next slide. Perfect. There's also additional coverage for you. So UHIP, think of it as your basic primary health insurance. So that would be for your doctors, your hospitals, surgeries, lab work, etc., all those bigger things. But you also have a supplementary plan. So you have it through the GSA, which is the Graduate Student Association, and they will cover things for you like your dental, your vision, your prescription medication. All that will be through your GSA. If you are a TA or if you are an RA, your dental portion of the supplementary plan moves over to CUPE. Your health portion will stay with GSA, but your dental moves over to CUPE. I don't work with these plans or I don't manage these plans. We do work very closely together. Just remember that if you come and change something with me, for example, add your dependents, I do not tell the GSA and vice versa. You will have to connect with these different plans so that you can also add your dependents to the different plans. The transition from the GSA to CUPE, I believe, is done automatically. Once the GSA receives the details that you are a TA or RA, they will move those plans for you and connect with you directly. Also, we do have webinars that happen twice a term for fall and winter, less in the spring, where we invite the GSA and CUPE to come with us, and we kind of do a presentation that goes over the UHIP plan more in detail, and then also you're able to compare the plans because we'll all be there, and you can see the different plans and what they cover for you. There's also an office that goes by the name of Model. So McMaster Office for the Development of English Language Learners. A lot easier to just say Model. So they provide free services for English language learners. So they do lessons, workshops, support, improve your English. They do like conversation circles and lots of fun things. So this is free. If I were you and you want to develop your English a little bit more, get a little bit more comfortable in speaking English on a day-to-day type of basis, I would definitely check out Model and a lot of the workshops and supports that they have as well for you. And now I will pass it on to my colleague Scott.
Thank you so much, Anna. Hi, everyone. My name is Scott Hopkin. I'm the International Graduate Student Advisor. I work very closely with SGS as well as the IIC team to help support you guys. So just a little bit about myself. I am a Mac alum. I did my undergrad degree here many years ago. And during that time, I did participate in an exchange program in France. And I had such a blast that I actually went back and taught English for another year and then on to South Korea to teach for 2 more years. So I do know what it's like to be in a new country, navigating different cultures and languages and going through different immigration systems. So I'm your guy if you have any questions about that, and I'm here to support you any way I can. I also know what it's like to be alone in a new country, and that's one of the many reasons why I'm running the International Grad Navigator program. So this is a way to connect you with current international grad students for peer-to-peer culturally relevant support. It's a great way to, ease your transition here to Canada and to McMaster by kind of making a buddy who knows what it's like to be an international grad student here. So you can register through this link for the International Grad Navigator page. You should have also received an email about this, so check your emails and make sure that you sign up for the program. Next slide, please. Okay, now you have to actually get here, right, to McMaster. So let's talk about traveling to McMaster. So preparing for your arrival and actually traveling to Canada. So the timing of your arrival, students usually arrive, 2 to 4 weeks before the start of their program. But some programs may actually have a must arrive date. So just make sure you check with your program if that's a thing for you. And documents that we highly suggest that you bring are, your travel documents such as a passport, your offer letter from your program, letter of introduction, so the LOI, which indicates that your study permit is approved. This is super important because you'll actually use this to get your physical study permit at the port of entry. Or if you already have a study permit, great, bring that with you. Also, financial proof that you have enough funds to support yourself during your stay in Canada. So you would have had to already show that with your initial study permit application. I just suggest, guys, that you print out your whole study permit application from start to finish, put it in a folder, and bring it with you because CBSA officers will likely question you and ask you some, you know, questions as to why you're in Canada, what you want to do, that kind of thing. So it's just a mini exam. No need to be afraid, but just come prepared and bring your documents with you. You'll also need an entry document, most likely. If you're from a visa exempt country, you'll need an electronic travel authorization, which is an ETA. This will be electronically linked to your passport. If you're from a visa country, you'll need a temporary resident visa. This is counterfoil that will be in your passport after you apply for your study permit application. And then any other documents that the visa office told you to bring. So make sure that you check your visa office instructions for that. Next slide, please. Okay, so now you're in Canada, you made it, yay. You're at the most likely Toronto Pearson Airport. That's the closest one to us for international airports anyway. So McMaster University is 68 kilometers away from the Toronto Pearson Airport, so pretty close. The travel time may depend on the time of day, so if it's rush hour, it'll be a bit longer, but you're looking at about 45 minutes to 1.5 hours to get here. There are public transit. There's a public transit to Hamilton, and it's the Go Bus Route 40. So you can take that. I believe it leaves like every 20 minutes during the day. And you could also do private transportation, such as taxis, rideshare, pre-booked transportation services. So the private's obviously more expensive than doing a public transit, but that's also available. And you can find more information on this on the International Grad Students Traveling McMaster page. Next slide, please. All right, so common items that you'll probably want to bring with you. You might want to bring a power adapter because the outlets in Canada may be different than what you're used to. So make sure that you bring that. Also, personal medicine and doctor's prescriptions. That's really important. Non-perishable snacks, such as chips or crackers, things like that. Copies of official documents and emergency contacts. So again, it's always good to have those physical copies. I know we're in a very tech-savvy generation, but phones break and things happen. So, print some things out so you have it on you. And then things that you may want to consider, you're moving to a new country if you're an international student. So you're going to compare prices of items in your home country and in Canada to determine if you should bring them or buy them in Canada. And also might want to consider the climate in Canada versus your home country. We do have 4 pretty distinct seasons, long winters. So these are all things to consider when preparing to come here. Next slide, please. So on that note, you will be arriving in spring. It's kind of spring right now. We're on our way. The temperature is usually above 0 degrees Celsius, and the average high is about 19 degrees and low of 8 degrees in May. So warm, definitely warm. And the campus will be relatively quiet. Yeah, May is not a super busy time, so you'll be able to enjoy the scenery and the beauty that is our campus. Summer can actually be quite warm, so the temperature can get as high as 30 degrees Celsius. The days are also long, so we have up to 14 hours of sunlight, and I can't wait personally. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so after you arrive, some things that you should do. You should get your social insurance number if you plan to work. You'll need to go to a Service Canada to do that. You'll need to update your address on Mosaic, get a Canadian bank account. There are many different banks here. You want to pick up your student ID card, get an Ontario driver's license or an Ontario photo card. This is not mandatory, but it's a good thing to do so you don't have to carry your passport with you everywhere. Um, and then if you want to explore Hamilton surrounding areas, you can go to the City of Hamilton webpage. For information on festivals, events, and activities, you can go to Tourism Hamilton. And to take a stroll on campus, Nature at McMaster. They're really awesome. I work with them. We do hikes for international grad students. I try to do one every term. So make sure that you check your email and check Oscar Plus for that as well. And next slide, please. And now it's time for questions. I'm going to throw it back to Catherine. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Scott and Anna and Justin before. So amazing to have all of you here. If I can add one other thing of what you should do if you're new to Hamilton, I'm going to say also get a Hamilton Public Library card once you have an address. You can get free museum passes and all kinds of other community resources through the Hamilton Public Library. So it just adds on extra things that you can do. So thank you all very much for being here, and we wish you a great rest of your day and look forward to welcoming you on campus.